Because I'm not recording right now.
I don't give a fuck if you're recording. You're going to listen to me. We're going to talk
Okay,
fucking
then
agenda.
tell me. Jesus Christ.
God, I'd like to discuss NXT quickly.
Okay.
Obviously, Survivor Series and the lack of a build. That's got to be
It's
discussed.
bad.
We can discuss some Becky Lynch. It's been hit hard already,
Okay.
but she's fucking
Yes.
great. She's gold. And I have some things to say about Kenny Omega that people aren't going to like, but the opinion needs to come out.
Okay.
And then we'll get to your. I know you got some things to say about the people that
Yes.
eventually listen to this, so we'll talk about that as well.
Eventually is a good word, Bubs. And I'm really excited for the YouTube fans because they're going to get some good stuff here. Because I am recording.
Ha, great. I've been berating you. Good for the YouTube crowd that it gets the. You know what? You deserve this. You're a fucking idiot. You never tell me nothing.
Okay.
You just
First
keep
of all,
things
use
from me.
proper English, you idiot.
Right, this is what happens when you get.
You don't. I'm going to learn you something today.
Double negatives start coming out of my mouth. I'm about to hit record. So you ready for an intro? 3, 2.
Oh, God, you're so excited about today because today, Bubs, are you with me? Bubs, are you there?
Barely.
Okay, because, we got a lot of really shitty stuff to talk about today. The amount of ass that has been the Survivor Series build, I'm so excited for. I'm so excited to get into, yes, I'm coming at you hot, Bubs, because, can you believe it? You know what's Sunday? What's Sunday?
I do know what's. Want me to tell you what it is?
Yes, please tell me because
it might surprise some of the listeners because you may not even know.
I don't. What's happening?
Okay. Well, it's supposed to be the 4th biggest pay-per-view of WWE's calendar, but you wouldn't know that.
I thought it was like the third biggest, or
arguably. Sure, I like the Rumble though.
In the day.
So
Rumble's 2 for sure.
Is it? SummerSlam's supposed to be huge too. Debatable topics either way.
Yeah.
Survivor Series is happening. Do you care about
it? Wait, what's happening?
Well, sorry, War Games is happening.
Yes.
That's what's really going on.
Oh, War Games, Bubs, yes.
And if it's anywhere close to last year, that's fine.
Bubs, War Games last year was really good. We were very hyped for it. But
you want to know why it's going to be better this year?
Because it's why? Because
the match specifically. Well, we'll talk about the dream. Stop.
Oh.
Because Ricochet is in the War Games match, and God knows what he's going to do.
Remember what Adam Cole did last year in the War Games match. This Undisputed Era period made that match phenomenal.
Kyle O'Reilly.
God, it was so good. It was so good. But that's not what I was talking about when I was talking about the drizzling shits. That was the build to what's supposed to be a Big 4 pay-per-view. Okay, but can we go ahead and take Survivor Series out of the Big 4 talk?
It seems like we're going to go that way.
Has it been replaced by Money in the Bank?
I guess Money in the Bank now is number 4, and Survivor Series is, well, it's that one time a year where the two brands clash.
The one time a year where Raw and SmackDown go against each other, Bubs.
The matches of them going against each other, especially the traditional 5-on-5s, mean nothing because all the feuds within them are on the teams themselves.
Yes. And some of the teams aren't even fully fleshed out anymore because of title changes, because of people getting hurt due to negligence. So many things that have changed, and all that change happened this fucking week, Bubs. This hasn't been built. No, this happened a couple days ago. These changes happened.
Bubs, as a wrestling fan, though, don't you like unpredictability?
I do, though. I do.
Okay.
I really do. I don't like something changing because another worker broke somebody's face.
Okay, so you're putting real blame there, like it was intentional, is what you're making.
I'm not saying it's intentional, but I'm saying that it's avoidable. Easily avoidable. The other change, though, I'm not upset with. I think I'm not saying it was a great idea, but it's definitely intriguing. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot more that could be done with this than if it was just the original plan set in place. And we'll get into that a little later on.
We have started hot and quick, throwing out some issues. So where do you want to really
so
start?
Hot right now, Bubs.
Let's put this together a little bit. Let me wrap it up here. Let's get this going here.
Okay.
This is some Wrestle Talk 101, right? We're here to talk about topics that are fresh, things that are on our mind. Both of us are hot tonight for some issues that we want to discuss and bring out. And that's really what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this weekend.
You're going to talk about this weekend.
Okay. Not needed. You're
okay. You're right.
Anyway,
you're right. That was
stupid.
Uncalled for.
I don't need it. No one needs it. We're also going to discuss why Wrestle Kingdom is really important this year, because I have some things to say about that, because it's time, whether we like it or not.
It's something I've been discussing with people for a few weeks now. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Good.
You teased it for our YouTube audience.
I did. So, Bubs, and also I know you got some things to say about people like us.
People like us, pieces of shit that just sit around and just take dumps on the hard workers out there, like they're just just a piece of sewage.
Yeah. My God. Okay.
Anyway, let's get into the real exciting part of this weekend. The card that has gotten real build for months, maybe even a year.
Sure.
Bubs. So let's go ahead and talk about War Games. NXT TakeOver War Games.
Bubs, last year's was great.
Oh, so good.
The match, the War Games match, is what is intriguing about this pay-per-view for the NXT brand. But also, they have that, but we're also going to see some one-on-ones that have really good build to them. Once again, as all their stuff seems to do. We're going to get...
It's almost as if NXT, the people who run NXT, know how to tell wrestling storylines. It's almost as if whoever's running NXT should probably be given the reins to, maybe the full product. Let's see how it works it works so well on a smaller scale for so long. Why don't we give that person a shot at the big time? You know what I mean? Or am I just talking crazy here?
You're talking out of your ass, but that's also it's not something we're going to see for a bit, Bubs. You got to be realistic on that one. It's just not going to happen, and we have to be hopeful. That old
bastard just won't go away.
Wow. You're in rare form, and this is great stuff tonight. I am digging it. But, Bubs, we're going to get some culmination to some stuff, certainly, in this one. We're going to get good answers to probably not the end of the feud between Black and Gargano, but we're going to get something there. This will be the end of the feud for Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, and this is 2 out of 3 falls.
Yes.
We're getting Ciampa against the Velveteen Dream. I already started tweeting.
I already know the outcome of the match, but just having
the idea of it.
We've been asking when Velveteen makes that jump to the main event of NXT, because we know the Velveteen Dream is a main event player. We know that. We've been saying that for a couple years now. But now we finally get to see what that looks like. And going up again, and he's in the de facto face role right now.
By default. Yep.
By default, going up against the Black Heart of NXT. Really the top heel of all of WWE right now in Tommaso Ciampa. So, and then the fans want to be behind Dream so badly, no matter what kind of character he portrays.
Yes, doesn't matter.
He gets that reaction. So, him being thrust into that, and I don't think this is a permanent babyface run for him. I just think with this feud, he kind of just fits into that role. So, it's gonna be, it's dreamy, Bubs. It's gonna be some dreamy goodness.
It's insane, and I'm more excited. Yes, I'm excited to see the end of that one. If the match is as good as the last NXT, then that's fine. But the War Games match, Bubs. Let's discuss this.
That's gonna be the best match of the night,
as it should be. There's a lot of talent in the ring. There's a lot of people in the ring just by looking at it.
Yeah.
Last year we saw some craziness. We saw high spots. Adam Cole, obviously. We saw chairs being brought in. It was chaos and tables and everything. Exactly
Which is what
War
Games is. That's what War Games is.
It should be a war that's caged in 2 rings, basically, and that's great stuff. So how do they top it this year? Is it going to be better because we've added the War Raiders and we've added Ricochet and Pete Dunne? Is that enough to make it just as good as last year, or are we going to see something over the top that we just can't even think of right now?
Okay, so Pete Dunne is a walking 5-star match. He might be a top 5 wrestler in the entire world right now.
Aggressive.
It is aggressive. I know. I'm just talking sheer in-ring,
sure,
storytelling, talent, everything. He's the total package. Ricochet is a walking highlight reel. As cliche as that is, it's what he is. No matter what he does, you can make little bursts, little 10-second gifs of him, constantly in every match that he has. The Undisputed Era is hitting on all cylinders. The Undisputed Era is even better than they were a year ago.
Bobby Fish is back.
Bobby Fish is back. You've got Roddy Strong, who is a fantastic worker. Bobby Fish, who, he's getting up there in age, but he's still a good worker. Kyle O'Reilly, one of the most underrated workers in the company. If he even had an ounce of charisma, he would be a top star, but the guy just has zero charisma, unfortunately. You got Adam Cole, who's a walking charisma machine, Bubs. Oh, it's the War Raiders, who are just
there
dominant.
We go. See, now you're hitting on it.
Yes.
The fucking War Machine War Raiders. Rowe,
yes.
Warbeard, Hansen. These dudes, when they were in New Japan, were the force. They get repackaged a little. They come from the bottom up through NXT when they do debut, and now they're here finally.
War.
And absolutely, like someone needs to go through some part of the cage tomorrow. It's got to break. I mean, one of them might even do a moonsault. We don't know what we're going to see because it's all ridiculous.
So I want to see what Ricochet.
Right?
You're right.
And that was great stuff. I just can't imagine.
But the people that are in this match, I mean, Sanity's great. You love Sanity.
Yep, big fan.
But the people in this match are even better.
Fair.
Than the people that were in the match last year. So yep. I think the sky's the limit for that match. That's going to be the best match of the night.
Okay, and I completely agree with you, and I'm really excited to watch it because if they keep doing this, because they're making the match seem like a big deal, right? And that's what I want. We got it last year. It was the first time we had seen it since fucking, what was it, 2000?
Maybe 2000?
We discussed it when we did the episode. It's been something close to
something like that.
Something like that, right? Now, if we're going to get it once a year, the match has to hit. It has to be great. It has to be amazing. Kind of like how we want Money in the Bank to be that good every year, which it has not been because we've seen.
But they're putting the best in the entire brand in this match.
Right.
Right. Minus Gargano, minus Aleister Black. They're putting the best workers in this match. So it's going to automatically make this match that much more important, that much better. You've got Pete Dunne. You've got Ricochet. You've got Adam Cole. Right there's 3 of your top guys in the entire company. You've got your 2 biggest tag teams. You've got the War Raiders and you've got, the Undisputed Era as a whole. So this match, it almost can't fail.
Right. So just them being in the ring, working a regular match would be, outstanding. But now we're going to put them in this environment. It's going to be great stuff, Bubs. I want to know, because you're talking about all the better workers here in NXT, and I know how you feel about a certain EC3.
Yeah.
He's not on the card.
NX3, Bubs. He's not, but the thing is, if you look at the card, there's only like 4 matches. 4 or 5
there's going to be 4, and there's going to be a pre-show match between the King of the Bros versus Cassius Ohno.
Which I'm not that...
I don't care about Matt Riddle yet.
Not a big fan of Cassius
something
Ohno.
relevant, and then I'll be real excited.
I haven't been a fan of him really ever. I wasn't a big fan of him as Chris Hero. Haven't been a fan of him in NXT as Cassius Ohno. I see where the story is going, and it's intriguing. But yeah, it sucks that someone like EC3, who's been rolling as of late, he's been getting some big wins. He beat Adam Cole on NXT TV. It sucks not having him on this card, but what would he do?
Yeah, there's really nobody else for him to work because the card is full of the top guys, and if he were to be placed in the card, there's nowhere for him to go against unless they put him up against some underling or some dude they're trying to groom, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see EC3 versus Kona Reeves, on War Games.
TV,
I want to see Gargano and Black. I want to see Ciampa and Dream. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Undisputed Era no matter what, no matter who they're going up against. So the card is, and you have to have your women's champion on the card, and that's the best match that you can make. There's a lot of great up-and-coming women wrestlers in NXT, but the feud is her and Sane. They've been feuding for a while now over the NXT title, so that's the logical match there. And you run the risk of bloating the card that doesn't need to be bloated. That's the issue that WWE has with all of their cards, is that they're bloated. They're over bloated. It's like they took a whole handful of salt and they just shoved it down their throat. That's what a WWE card feels like. That's what makes NXT so good, is that it gives you just enough to make you want some more, but you never leave feeling like something was missing.
Yeah. Every one of these NXTs is usually 4 or 5 matches. That's all they are. And there's not a bad NXT takeover, right?
No. So even the worst NXT takeover was good.
Right. So it sounds like you're pretty content with the card as it sits, or would you have liked a little more effort put into a minor feud for EC3 with somebody relevant, or at least an effort put in to put number 5 on the card here, so that he could be seen, because there's not many NXT takeovers a year, Bubs. You got to think about that. His exposure has still been relatively limited since he's been on NXT, since he's debuted. So it seems like he's not in the cards in the top eye of Regal and Triple H, these guys, as far as like guy they want to push in the next position, or push to the SmackDown or Raw brand. He's kind of still underneath all these dudes.
Bubs, I get what you're saying, and you're making a lot of sense. The issue is that if you watch NXT TV, you get a lot of EC3. So he's getting exposed there. For him not to be on this card, it kind of sucks if you want to see his progression continue and to reach the top of the card, which, we all kind of feel like he can be there. He can carry a brand. He's done it before with an entire company.
Absolutely.
But there's so much there. It's so heavy. It's not even top heavy. The NXT roster, the entire roster is stacked with really good talent. So look at the top of the card. Ciampa versus Dream. You can put EC3 in that spot and he would thrive. But right now everyone wants Dream, so that makes sense. Gargano versus Black. It wouldn't really make sense that EC3 was the guy that attacked Aleister Black. It makes 100% sense that it was Gargano. He's this heel that, and those are the best heels that feel vindicated in their actions. And for him to, his reasoning, he wanted Ciampa for his own. So to have that happen, it makes total sense. So where would EC3 fall into place here? Going up against Cassius Ohno? Boo. I don't want to see that.
Nope.
And Cassius Ohno's got his own story happening where he's trying to, he just wants more competition. He's beating all these jobbers. He wants more competition. So where he's at, it makes sense. So it wouldn't make sense to put EC3 on this card.
Right. Fair point. And we're going to wrap this up here, Bubs, because we're going to move on to a little more serious talk about our anger of the Survivor Series build. But we're going to do some picks real quick. We posted these earlier to the Twitter account. Well, you and I differ on
which is
some
what?
things
What's
here.
That Twitter handle again?
A little CAE Wrestling down there on Twitter.
Yes.
Go ahead and let you
CAE Wrestling.
Yeah, go ahead and find that real quick and go ahead and follow us there. You'll see some great content.
Hashtag best in the world. Hashtag number one podcast. Hashtag grow the show.
I haven't put those podcasts,
sorry, my bad.
Those hashtags on there, but we'll get there, Bubs.
You can start that if you're listening.
I will. So, Bubs, top
idiot.
of the card real quick. The War Games match should main event. We both want that. That makes the most sense. I'm okay with that being over the NXT Championship match. You pick the Undisputed Era.
That's weird for you. That's weird for you. Usually you're all about the title getting the top billing.
Very much, but considering how they're treating the War Games match by itself, I want that to go on last because I do think it will blow the show away. And if they have it lead off, then it's going to be hard to top.
Well, no, they would never lead it. Leading off is going to be maybe the Women's Championship match.
I don't remember exactly, but I thought they led off last year.
The War Games match? No.
No. I'm going to have to look into that, but that may not have happened. But either way, Bubs, last year, the Undisputed Era won. You're picking them again this year.
I am picking them again.
That's fine. I'm going the opposite route because I see the push of Ricochet as an individual and the War Raiders being a little more important to them than a continuous win for the Undisputed Era in this match. I don't really care. I have no favors.
Undisputed Era is being built right now as one of the top factions, maybe one of the best factions in the last 5 to 6 years. So I see that run of dominance continuing. So that way, whenever they do finally get beat, it's going to be a bigger deal.
Right.
But I do see them winning. It's going to be a great showing, no matter what. But the faces, everyone involved can't afford a loss. And the Undisputed Era is just going to continue rolling.
All right, good stuff there, Bubs. 2 out of 3 falls, Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler, she's going to retain.
Yes.
That's okay at this point. We talked about our frustrations with her first run. We're kind of over that now because her as a chaser to Kairi Sane fixed a lot of her problems, made her better.
Really good.
It was good, and I think she's going to win here 2 out of 3 because I don't see a need for Kairi Sane to hold the title again. I think establishing Shayna as more dominant. Not a whole lot. She's popular. She got some pop, right? But there wasn't a whole lot.
She's not a champion to me. Like Asuka, she was, and I don't mean that as kind of a bad thing towards Kairi Sane because I love Kairi Sane. She's a fantastic worker, but she's more of the type that she could just go out and have great matches with anybody. I don't see her as exactly. And Shayna Baszler is the type that is a championship chaser. She's a championship holder. Just certain people you see, okay, that person belongs in the championship picture. It's not that Kairi Sane doesn't belong. She definitely belongs. She's more of a chaser and less of a title holder.
Yeah. And I think they're going to have her win here to really establish her as a true dominant force down there in NXT because if they want to make her relevant on the main brand, she's not ready yet. And they need to do a lot of things to get her there and use her properly down the road if they want to use her in some key main event scenario. So she's
getting there. She's definitely getting there.
She just needs some time. She's going to win here. Bubs, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be real good.
That's going to be really good. Okay.
Yes.
And you and I differed on this one. This was a little bit different for us.
You're picking Black on this one.
I'm taking Black because he's not moving up to the main card just yet. And I need him to win. Need him to win a feud. Gargano as a heel? I do. I want him to win.
He's won a few.
He has
he
won.
Beat Velveteen.
Right?
He was the NXT champion. I mean, Gargano, if anybody needs a win, Bubs. The guy hasn't won a big match in a while.
He doesn't need to win. He can be the ultimate loser forever,
heel,
but still be super relevant.
He's a heel right now. He needs to win.
I know. This is more of a love fest for me with Aleister Black. I want to see him put on a really good showing. I want Black Mass to hit perfectly without a mess up at the end. That's what I want.
Lars Sullivan territory.
Lars Sullivan. Love the match. We're going to differ on that one, though, Bubs. And we both know Tommaso Ciampa is going to win here. We're not picking the dream. It'd be a dream scenario for us if he won. But I don't know. I want him to win the NXT title. But I want the feud to be so well developed that it means something huge. And
that's another... Okay, so exactly what I was saying before with Kairi Sane, Velveteen fits into that same kind of category. He's not someone that ever needs to hold a championship or be a champion. He's great in that chaser role, but he's also great if you just throw him out there. No matter who he's feuding with, he'll make that feud his own, and he'll be... Not everyone needs to be a world champion.
You're right.
To be great.
and I want to agree with you, and I probably will, but I want to see what he does with a title eventually around his waist and how it changes his persona, and see if it does change his persona at all, and see what he can do with something like that. Tonight or tomorrow's not the time for that. Go Ciampa.
I have a question for you, though.
Send it, Bubs.
Along those lines, when do you think Velveteen Dream will win his first singles title? Will it be in NXT, either the NXT title or the North American title, or will it be when he's on the main roster, i.e. the US title or Intercontinental title?
I really think he's going to end up staying down at NXT, regardless of whatever he puts on his tights to say, call me up Vince and stuff like that.
That was so good.
He might do it again tomorrow. We don't know. I don't think
Bubs, War Games last year was him and Black. That was so good. That was the feud of the year, Bubs.
Oh, that's right. That was last year.
That was last year. War Games.
Man, that's right. We love that match.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, Bubs, I think he's going to end up staying down there. North American title.
For how long? How long
what are we
will
doing
he
with
be
that
in
North
NXT,
American
Bubs?
title? Are we going to maybe for another year? Because we haven't seen anything done with that North American title for the most part. So let's do something with it.
Ricochet's the champ, right?
Let's make it relevant. Let's have him and Adam Cole go back and forth again. Then let's throw the Dream in there and let's have an awesome triple threat.
EC3.
Okay, I'm okay with all that. It's just I want to see him holding a title to see what he does with it and see if the title boosts him up or he boosts the title up. Those are two very different things that happen with champions when they hold a title. So I think it's going to be mid-card NXT at this point, and if he can use that to springboard, maybe he can skip over the NXT title and go right to the main brand, but we'll see, Bud. It's not time yet, though.
That's so interesting to think about because call-ups happen at a moment's notice. We don't know.
I know.
Mojo Rawley found himself up. Kalisto found himself up. You know, these guys that you're like, how is he moving up? Like a Baron Corbin, you're like, okay, that guy, there's only so much he can do in NXT. But
you want me to? We can talk about Apollo Crews again if you want to talk about Apollo Crews.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's the poster child of, call-ups happening at a moment's notice and just not working.
Right.
Irrelevant. But I feel like Velveteen is someone that it doesn't matter when he gets called up. It's going to work.
They could do it in 10 years from now, Bubs. He's only 22. He's got time.
Oh. Bubs, he's 10 years younger than freaking Kyle O'Reilly, and he's over 10 years younger than EC3. He's like 12 or 14 years younger than EC3.
We have time, but I'm very impatient.
Okay, moving.
All right, Bubs, we're over that. Let's talk about how dismal Survivor Series is. The card is almost done.
When is that, though? That's in a couple weeks, right?
Well, you'd think, but actually we're going to go ahead and throw it out there on Sunday, a day and a half from now.
Wait, what?
We're going to throw the card out.
You're talking this Sunday?
I need you to be ready for it because we're going to have Raw versus SmackDown, champion versus champions, brand versus brand, red versus blue.
The one time a year when SmackDown and Raw go head-to-head?
You're right, in direct competition. That's actually happening.
Okay.
A lot of stuff's going on. We got some tag team matches, right? We got some things that we should care about.
Survivor Series matches?
We've got some traditional 5-on-5s. We've got some good singles matches on paper. They look really good. No feuds. No relevance to them whatsoever. Hey, you're a champion. You're a champion.
And no repercussion.
Nothing happens.
Nothing at stake at all.
If you beat me, you beat me. You're the better man. That's kind of how it has to sound.
Why? And I feel like we talked about this before. Why can't Survivor Series have some kind of implication? Like, okay, whoever wins, then that company gets to pluck somebody from the losing side. Like, if Raw wins, okay, we're taking AJ Styles now. If SmackDown wins, they go, okay, well, we're taking Seth Rollins now. Well, I'm just throwing names out there.
Or they get the number one pick in a redraft or something like that. Or relevance.
I feel like that's something that WWE would have done back in the infancy of the brand split and would have gotten people excited and get people interested in Survivor Series, which I believe is in a couple weeks, right?
Well, once again, you'd think that, but I got it scheduled for Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and watch it. Bubs,
why are you doing that?
You know what this looks like to me? I just kind of realized this. This happened as I'm just looking at the card here. This looks like and reminds me of an MLB All-Star game because we have all the All-Stars up here, right?
Yes.
The card's packed full of talent.
It is.
But the MLB, they fixed their issue of, oh, it's just a fun little game. Now it means something. World Series. Now it means...
So this is more of the Pro Bowl in the NFL then, Bubs.
Right. This is literally a fun exhibition is what this sounds like to me, because we're going to see good matches. Like, I don't think Rollins and Nakamura can be bad whatsoever.
No, it's going to be good.
But again, we've talked about this. We need more than the match work. We need some emotion. We need some repercussions. We need a reason to tune into the match other than, I can't wait to see a Kinshasa. That is not enough for me as a wrestling fan. So
I feel like really, Survivor Series used to have the Montreal Screwjob happened at Survivor Series. Like Survivor Series used to have big time matches, big implications.
The year after that, we had Deadly Games, where again the Screwjob happens to Mankind for The Rock as he goes corporate.
Yes.
We have
titles used to be on the line at Survivor Series.
Survivor Series '99, the Big Show was thrown into a triple threat match, and he became champion out of nowhere.
No one saw that coming.
Where is this?
And then he feuded with the Big Boss Man over his dad's funeral, right? That's what that feud. That's what that was.
He lost the title.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But Bubs, there's a huge pop when he wins that match. Don't you dare break that down a little.
No, I'm a big fan of the Big Show. He deserves a lot more credit than he gets.
As a heel or a face, depending on the day of the week, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, Bubs, the only thing we need to talk about in here, I really think, because everything else is almost irrelevant. I want to talk about the quick switch of the Universal Champion versus WWE Champion match, and Ronda now facing Charlotte, because
I have some things to say about that. I have some things to say about that.
We're leaving that for last, because let's talk about last year. Last year, Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. How much did we love that match?
Match of the night, Bubs. That was a great match.
It was better than decent. It was very nice. Brock had to work a little bit.
It was a great match, Bubs.
It was not great. We throw that word around too much. It was a great
match. I was into that match from
this year. Over the last 2 weeks, since they've been plugging Survivor Series finally, AJ has been throwing some great promos at Brock, saying that he's going to tap him out, and I'm like, fuck. If it can be just as good as last year, I'm okay with it. And they start setting it up. We get promos back and forth between Paul Heyman and AJ Styles, not Brock.
And the thing that AJ Styles was bringing up is that, back last year at Survivor Series, he showed that Brock is human. Brock is able to he's vulnerable. He's able to be tapped out. And now AJ Styles has been working on his submission game. He can tap out Brock this year. But now Brock's going up against an actual submission specialist. I think that's an interesting bit of storytelling there. A little foreshadowing.
That may play into it, obviously, because Daniel Bryan knows how to tap out some people. But let's talk about this, Bub. So Tuesday, we had an impromptu match scheduled on a whim.
A decent build in one night. Pretty good build in one night.
For as quick as it got people's attention. Sure, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the main event and the right to face Brock and to become WWE champion. So, Bubs, let's talk about this. Daniel Bryan's your boy.
We differ strongly.
We very much differ on this opinion, right? So he's now the WWE champion.
Yes.
Something he has not been for a hot minute. It's fine that he's now regained the title.
5 years?
I have the issue of the circumstances of which it happened.
Okay.
So why is it that you're so much about this heel turn and WWE champion Daniel Bryan now?
So here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the title changing. Okay, because you're right. Because AJ Styles was on a historic run. He has been doing great as AJ Styles is a fantastic champion. Him holding the belt, the belt looks important. He makes the belt feel important, and he puts on great matches as champion. Daniel Bryan, when he was his most over, when the whole Yes movement started back in 2012, it was as a heel. Daniel Bryan got himself over as a heel. That's when the entire thing started. So Daniel Bryan comes back. He's the ultimate face. It's almost impossible to boo the guy, especially with everything that he's been through. But this is wrestling. This isn't real life. Yeah, the guy's been through a lot, and his story is great that he's come back. But this is wrestling, and the same thing might happen when, a certain someone returns. I doubt that's going to happen, but what a story that would be. Things heel turns happen, face turns happen. These things happen, and so you can't be one thing for so long, especially when something becomes stale. As much of a Daniel Bryan fan as I am, that his run as a face, it kind of becomes stale.
Okay.
So why not pull the trigger on that? And so you have Brock Lesnar, who fans, don't really like right now. He's not a heel or a face. He's just Brock Lesnar. Now, if you send in a face Daniel Bryan into that match, he's going to get tossed around and beat up like John Cena did. So I think a heel Daniel Bryan has a better chance, or at least a more believable chance, at beating Brock Lesnar underhandedly than a face AJ Styles or a face Daniel Bryan does. So that's why I think this match has a little more intrigue than it did, 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, so you like the match better now than you did on Monday when it was AJ versus Brock.
I thought it was going to be a fantastic match either way. I 100% believed Brock Lesnar was going to win no matter what. But now I think, something might be up the sleeves of WWE. And, as you saw in my prediction, I think something does happen Sunday night that, they threw a big curveball at us Tuesday. Why not throw another curveball at us on Sunday?
Going along those lines, the only person that has beaten Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns.
Oh, and Roman Reigns.
Recently.
Okay.
So even heel tactically, how can a Daniel Bryan, at his size and his demeanor and all that stuff, how can he believably pin and keep down a Brock Lesnar?
Who says he has to pin him?
You think that he'll tap him out?
Who says he has to tap him out?
You think he'll win by count out? Is that really what we're getting at? Or would Brock lose by DQ? Is that none of that is really believable? I think there's a way Brock has to be protected.
I understand that. However, Brock, at this point, there's no one alive that can believably beat Brock Lesnar. But this is professional wrestling, Bubs.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't. Oh God, I'm about to catch a lot of shit for this.
Oof.
This isn't a real sport, Bubs. These are real athletes, but this isn't a real sport. Okay? So anything can happen.
You're right.
Anything.
But it must be believable.
If this was a real sport, Ahmed Johnson would have been a 12-time WWE champion back in the 90s. But this isn't a real sport. This is a scripted athletic competition with predetermined outcomes.
Okay.
So anything can happen.
Okay.
And I like to live in that anything can happen world.
Which is fair. I understand that. It leaves you up to the ability to be swerved and stuff to come out of nowhere and all that stuff.
RKO?
What are we doing with?
Is Randy Orton in this match?
Where's AJ Styles going to be?
Okay.
What does he do?
Oh, that's a good question.
What does he? This is Survivor Series, big pay-per-view. He just lost his title.
Is it a big pay-per-view?
He lost it by an underhanded low blow by Daniel Bryan.
Low blow and then a lot of kicks to the face.
Yeah, after the match. Yeah, so
that was rough.
AJ's hot. He's upset. Is he going to be in this match? Is he going to show up?
He really could.
Okay.
And honestly, if I'm using my head, that's what's going to happen. Daniel Bryan might come close to winning, but AJ Styles will come out and screw him, and that's how that feud continues. But I like to think that something, because WWE likes to make us think sometimes. And I think I want to believe that this is one of those moments where we go, wow, I can't believe that happened, because that's one of WWE's biggest kind of ace cards that they hold, is that anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can beat anybody on any given night. Who's to say Braun Strowman doesn't come out and screw Brock Lesnar?
Braun needs to stay relevant in that feud, in that scene.
Brock Lesnar
and he's only
doesn't
hanging
have
out on Team Raw.
Exactly.
So.
Brock Lesnar doesn't have a feud in the foreseeable future. So why not start that feud that night? You know,
Braun has made himself the de facto next thing for Brock, but they haven't officially made that into anything. They're kind of living off the previous inklings of the last feud between them or the matches that they were involved in. So nothing's really been set up. So to go forward after this, we have to start working towards the Rumble. We need something to get set up. We need Survivor Series to springboard all that. That's why AJ's got to be involved in something, I think. I don't know what he does. Hell, he could even cost Brock the match and goes on the same side with Daniel Bryan. That could be a complete swerve, too, we're not ready for. But
AJ Styles is another guy that can work. He's like Daniel Bryan. He can work as a face or a heel. That's when he first showed up. He was kind of a white meat, boring babyface until he turned heel and worked against John Cena, and that's when he got fully over. But I want to get into this. Like, for so long, the entire thing was we wanted Daniel Bryan to be the top guy, right? That was kind of the impetus to the WrestleMania 30, crowning of Daniel Bryan. So he wins the title, loses it, he comes back. We need Daniel Bryan to be champion. If he's not champion, we're going to shit all over the product. Whoever you choose, they're done. Rey Mysterio got booed out of the building because he was the last participant in the Royal Rumble, and it wasn't Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns gets booed for the next 2 years because he's not Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan comes back. Everyone says he needs to immediately be put in a feud with Brock Lesnar. He needs to immediately be put in the world title picture. They boo on anyone who's not him. He gets put in that position, and people are shitting all over it. I read someone calling him the American concussion going to get destroyed by Brock Lesnar. What is wrong with people, Bubs? I don't get it. I really don't get it.
The American concussion about to get thrown and launched by Brock. That came out immediately after he won on Tuesday night, Bubs.
I don't understand it. I hate it.
That's a quick reaction to the anger that people had of AJ Styles losing the title unexpectedly.
Yes.
Because they weren't ready for it.
And that's the thing. They're not ready. They want unexpected things to happen. So when something unexpected happens, they're like, whoa, that's not the unexpected thing we were expecting.
Yeah.
We wanted the unexpected thing that we were expecting to happen. Yeah. You gave us something unexpected? Are you insane? Do you think that's what we want?
I think because most of us wanted Brock versus AJ round 2 because the promos leading up to it had made it decent.
Ending would have happened. Brock was going to stand tall over AJ Styles, and we would have been like, wow, I can't believe they buried AJ Styles. I can't believe it.
I think you're in the minority of even thinking that Daniel Bryan could win in underhanded tactics. I don't think that anybody's on that.
I absolutely know I am.
So we know that the same thing's going to happen there too. So why the necessary change? Why the unexpected WWE? Because WWE title reigns, they mean something. AJ's been on a 370 or 380 day reign.
It was 371 days or 72 days, something like that.
That's amazing. And they end it this way? I think that's why people were a little pissed about it. But
well, he won it unexpectedly. He won it in England, in the UK, where it never changed hands before.
We had to have that. We had to have that.
Okay. Well, at some point, AJ Styles was going to have to lose.
Okay. And I think people just wanted it to be that specific thing. To be a little more predictable.
Who did they want it to be? They wanted it to be Daniel Bryan, right? But when? When was it going to happen?
At a major pay-per-view.
Why? They think that, why would it have to be at a major pay-per-view?
And this is kind of where my version of this came in, was the Daniel Bryan story. Now that he's come back from all of this, now that he's regained his position, top card guy, still super over, why don't they capitalize on that and have him win in a very meaningful, very eventful way? Because they've done that
already. It's already happened. He's had his crowning moment.
So people only get one, is what you're telling me.
It not necessarily,
he gets WrestleMania.
But
that's what he got.
How many people get WrestleMania, Bubs? Not a lot.
Some people get it multiple times.
Okay, well, not everyone's Roman Reigns.
Not just Roman Reigns. Don't
Okay, well, not everyone's John Cena.
Okay, so it doesn't matter to you then. So this is where
doesn't.
Royal Rumble main event, SummerSlam main event,
so you're telling me if you were put in that situation, you would say, no, I'd rather win it where it's more meaningful. No, you would go, yeah, give me that title. I want to wear that around my waist.
Of course they want it that way, Bubs. But, they want it. Give me the title. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yes,
that gives me more merch. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
I want all that money. But then the product lovers were sitting here like, ugh, that's how you did it on a Tuesday in an underhanded, meaningless way?
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? The WWE doesn't give a shit about us sitting there going, let me finish. They sit there. We sit here going, oh, well, backstage politics. I don't think he should have won because of this, or, oh, I don't think they're going to push this guy because of this. Guess what? WWE doesn't give a shit about what we think, how things should be booked. They don't give a shit about how us stupid fans sitting on our couches, our armchair bookers think. Because guess what? We're not going out there buying merch to support the people that we think should be WWE champion. All the people sitting there thinking Finn Balor has been wasted. Finn Balor hasn't been used properly. Well, guess what? The reason Finn Balor hasn't been used properly is because you're not going out there and supporting Finn Balor. You know, you want Finn Balor to be a top guy. How about you go out there and pay the money to show that he deserves to be the top guy? You know what? Roman Reigns is the top guy. Yeah, he's got a great look, but guess what? People are going out there and buying the shit out of his t-shirts, buying all of his merch to make him one of the top merch sellers. Okay,
Bubs,
people are buying. Listen, I'm not done. Okay? The reason why Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion right now is because people buy tickets to go see Brock Lesnar. They hear, oh, Finn Balor's the main event. It's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, that's cool. Brock Lesnar's main event. Ooh, I need to go see that. That's badass. I need to see Brock Lesnar in person. Well, guess what? If you want to see Finn Balor in the main event, when you see his name on the marquee, you go buy a goddamn ticket instead of sitting there whining on your little. Okay. Instead of sitting there whining about it behind your computer screen, typing away on your keyboard. Oh, Finn Balor should be number one. Prince Devitt was the man. Oh yeah, okay. He's great. He's a pretty good in-ring guy. Guess what? You know how much charisma he has? About as much as, a fart I took 2 minutes ago. That's about how much charisma he has. Okay? So you want to prove that he deserves to be the champ? Go out there and spend your hard-earned cash on his t-shirts. Maybe buy 2 of them if you have to. Buy one for your little sister if you have to. Because guess what? No one's doing that shit. They're sitting there whining and complaining on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever it is, saying, man, Finn Balor should be the champ. And, I don't mean to take a huge, giant-ass dump on Finn Balor, but guess what? That's the name I keep seeing. People trying to say that he's a number one guy. Prove it. Prove that he's number one, because you haven't done shit to prove it. I need a drink.
But, Bubs, I bought a Bray Wyatt shirt.
And what? You were the only one buying a Bray Wyatt shirt.
Was I the only one? Oh.
Okay, yeah, Bray Wyatt can come out and you can turn your cell phone on. Ooh, that's pretty easy. That's a fun thing to do. But guess what? That doesn't move the needle.
No, not a whole lot. That's why that title reign didn't last. Anyway, Bubs, great point. And well said, because it really is.
Bubs, what happened? I think I just.
Where are we? I think
really I just blacked out for a little
Prince
bit.
Devitt is the name that comes up a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty good, and we should talk about him.
Good point there. We're going to get off the subject of Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar now.
That's probably a good idea.
And I have really nothing else on this card I want to talk about aside from Rousey and Becky Lynch, which is now Rousey versus Charlotte Flair.
Which is now the main event of WrestleMania 35.
Which is likely going to be the main event. That is what all the dirt sheets are saying. Bubs, last year we talked about Charlotte versus Rousey as the main event. That's what we wanted. That's what I sat here and said, that's your money match. And it is. That could be a money match. But Becky is now
Becky she's turned the corner, Bubs.
She's getting on godlike level. She is now the man. Her Twitter is even better than her promos.
Yes, it is.
And I was pissed off at first.
She called out Seth Rollins, and that was good.
Oh, God, give me that, too. So I was pissed off when she first turned heel, but then sat in the gray area because it was supposed to be a heel turn, but we all cheered it, and we didn't know where to go with it.
Right.
Because we're like, now I want to cheer her. And we're like, well, fuck, the WWE doesn't care about what we think. Now they're just letting her do whatever she wants. She gets open reins now to go out and put anything on Twitter that she wants. She can say almost any swear word she wants in a promo, it seems like, too. Because I think that they're seeing
she's the baddest bitch on the planet, Bubs.
She is, right? And it's ridiculous. So that, as a main event at a WrestleMania 35, yes, I'm in. Now, the problem with that is we are a long time away still, Bubs.
I know, a lot of but this is...
So, what? Let me finish. You got to finish. Let me
You're right. I'm sorry.
The problem with that is that in order to make this that caliber, they have to do work day in and day out on Twitter, on Raw, on SmackDown, because they're on different brands still, too, and they're both still champions. Becky might lose hers because of this injury. We'll talk about that at another time.
Okay.
But they have to do a lot to make this feud last that long, but also it needs to get a little bit better, a little more personal for it to be WrestleMania main event. Would you agree to that?
I do. It definitely needs more build. And, but I think, as much as I hate seeing Becky Lynch get hurt the way she did, I think this might have been the best thing to happen.
It is.
I hate it. I hate that I'm saying this because I don't condone what happened.
No.
But Becky Lynch is a huge star, and this is only going to make things bigger for her. And you don't want to. And I think WWE has finally seen it. They finally seen the light at the end of the Becky Lynch tunnel, and they realize, yes, she might be the second biggest women's wrestler in the world right now, behind Ronda Rousey. And it's hard
to imagine.
It is. A year ago we
wouldn't have said this.
Back in the Royal Rumble, what were we saying, Bubs? Becky Lynch should win this match.
We've been saying Becky Lynch for a while.
At the two women's Money in the Bank matches, we both said Becky Lynch. Yes, we've wanted Becky for so long. We finally have Becky, and it's brilliant.
Because you could see little pieces of this in her. Now we get to see all of it, and we're like, and a year ago, 2 years ago, you're like, oh, I like that. Oh, the rest of it was trash because she's covered up by the WWE product. Oh, there's something I like in what she's doing right there. A little bit of arrogance. Ooh, bitch. Nice. Okay. But now the reins are off. She gets to do anything that she wants, and we're seeing what the potential of that really brings out if creative freedom is given to the person. Now, I'm sure she's still being given things by production. That's all fine. But they're not coding it anymore with PG-13, protections. They're letting him do all kinds of stuff. They're letting her go out there, be her, and they're letting her piss off Ronda Rousey. The biggest way to get yourself over now that Rousey's on the brand, you have to attack Rousey. Yes. It's not Charlotte Flair that's the biggest name in the women's wrestling divisions on Raw now. It is Ronda Rousey. Whether or not she's been there for a little bit of time doesn't matter. She's now the Raw champion, and she's the big name. So, Bubs, we get Charlotte Flair versus Ronda now because we were both saying, oh, that's going to be WrestleMania worthy. Cool. We get it now.
We did say that was going to be a main event of WrestleMania at some point in the next couple years. Now
we get the Rumble after this. Who the hell can Rousey face there? I'd like to talk about Asuka. I think that, there's a potential for a Shayna Baszler thing that I would want to commit to later on down the road.
Here's what's going to happen. Becky Lynch will drop the title at some point to Charlotte, I think, within the next, month or two. Not right before. It's going to happen before the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Because at the Royal Rumble, I'm going to go ahead and call my prediction now.
Call it now.
It's been my prediction for a while now. Becky Lynch is going to win the Royal Rumble. She's going to choose to go after Ronda Rousey because something's going to happen. And not something's going to happen. I mean, Becky's going to say, I could have beaten you at Survivor Series have I not been, not had my face broke. I could have beaten you with a broken face and a concussion. So just imagine what I'm going to do to you full strength. Becky builds itself perfectly. It lends it. Oh, I'm so excited.
They're building the steps to it now, Bubs. We're gonna get that WrestleMania main event. I hope that they don't even actually. Real quick, can you imagine? Because at this point, most of the hardcore fans are pretty much committed to accepting that as the main event, right?
Yes, because
now let's say.
But the thing is, WWE's not relying on pay-per-view buys anymore, so they could put, and WrestleMania is a brand in itself. They could put anything at the main event. Why not? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but I think what would be smart is if they don't ever release the card order, or they never talk about this will be the main event at WrestleMania. I don't think that they should say that towards any of the big matches.
They're going
I think that they will, because what will ultimately piss fans off is if let's say that they didn't do that right, but then the second to last match comes out and it's that match. It's the women's match, and it's not the main event. Can you imagine the boos that will rain down from New Jersey?
Brock Lesnar versus
over. It's Brock versus insert whomever you want, right? And
what if it's Elias,
that's a terrible way to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man. I need to change my pants real quick.
The fact that all the dirt sheets are putting this out there, this is going to make fans accept it. It's going to make fans want it. And if we don't get it, we're going to absolutely boo it out the building.
Right. As soon as I saw the first report of it, I got instantly excited for it. Not excited to the point where I'm like, oh, I absolutely 100% have to watch this match. I got excited to the point where I was like, that is the perfect way to have your first ever women's WrestleMania main event. Because there's no bigger star to the mainstream audience than Ronda Rousey. And there's no bigger star to the hardcore audience than Becky Lynch right now. And that's male or female. Tell me someone who's hotter than Becky Lynch right now. There isn't anybody. Yeah. So if we could just keep this momentum going for Becky Lynch, no matter what, Ronda Rousey's still going to be that star at WrestleMania. If we could keep this momentum going for Becky Lynch, have her win the Royal Rumble, you can't have any other match than Becky versus Ronda Rousey.
And hopefully Rousey wins.
Sorry, Charlotte. I love you. You are amazing. And for years we've been saying that she is the best women's wrestler on this planet. And that I haven't moved from that. I still think she's the best women's wrestler on this planet. But the biggest women's star, maybe the biggest wrestling star right now on the roster, especially to hardcore fans, is Becky Lynch. And so you think Rousey should win that match. Why is that?
Rousey should win that match only to further the Becky character. This is 6 months away, Bubs. I am thrilled. But all the build, all the anticipation, it becomes the biggest match in women's division history, one of the bigger matches, and Becky to win, only for Ronda to fully turn heel and have a whole bunch of people attacking Becky because Becky has turned her back to all of her friends.
Okay.
That is really what I would want to see.
Okay.
At this point, I mean, my opinions could change, but that's what I see right now.
I kind of lost you there, but from what I gathered, you're saying that Becky Lynch builds up so much ill will throughout the entire women's roster that they just ransack her afterwards.
Right. It becomes pretty much Becky against the world at the almost maybe even in the match. It could come to something like that where they all are against her. And they just hand Ronda the win just to further the character of Becky going forward. I think there's a lot to be done after WrestleMania. We have to think the WrestleMania is not the end point. It's just a middle point of this character for her. So what can they do after it? What can they use with this match to springboard something further down the road?
Okay. I like where you're going with that. And the seeds have been planted. And I'm excited to see where that goes. So let's go ahead and let's just throw out our predictions for this card because it's not a very important card. So Let's just go. I know I hate it.
Okay,
so let's just go ahead and throw out our predictions. I want you to walk us through each match, and then we'll throw out our predictions.
Okay, well, I do kind of care about what the cruiserweights have been doing a little bit, Bub. So let's lead off at that real quick. Buddy Murphy to win.
He's been so good. He's been one of the best cruiserweights of the last few months. His story has been great. His in-ring work has been great. But I'm a big Buddy Murphy fan, so he's going to continue this run.
Okay, now the 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag team match, elimination match, is a pre-show match. Team Raw, a bunch of people I'll name off for you real quick, Bubs. We got Rude and Gable with the B team, with the Revival, with the Lucha House Party, with the Ascension.
I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll wake you up here real quick. Team SmackDown. Here goes the Usos on the pre-show again. I'm not mad.
It. I
the
am
New
mad.
Day on the pre-show again.
Hate it.
That's okay. Sanity. They should be doing more.
Hate
okay.
It.
Carla Anderson and Luke Gallows, blah.
Hate it.
And the Colognes, blah.
The Colognes are going to get... Colognes and the Ascension are going to get eliminated early. Or Ascension might last till the end. Either way, SmackDown's going to win this. SmackDown's tag team division is infinitely stronger than Raw's division. It's not even close. SmackDown's going to win handily. They might even be a clean sweep. But the Colognes are definitely losing, so no, it won't be a clean sweep.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. SmackDown should
they were
win this.
Even still in the company.
I know.
Bubs.
I totally found out last week when the Usos picked them. I'm like, oh, the Colognes still have a contract.
Matadors.
But Bubs, the Revival need to do something strong in this match on Team Raw because they need to be booked properly. So I think that they'll do something decent. The only ones I care about on Raw, SmackDown for the win. Go Usos, best tag team in the world. Let's move up.
Usos are a number one.
Okay. Let's do the AOP, your Raw Tag Team Champions, with your boy, Drake Maverick.
Why is he my boy? Why is everyone my boy?
Everyone is your boy, Cesaro and Sheamus, and probably the Big Show, the Big Bar, out here for tag team match, Bubs. Who do you like? Interference by the Big Show?
No, AOP wins. They just won the titles. They need to continue being a dominant force. AOP wins, and what a big win it would be over a tag team like the Bar.
The Big Show gets involved here. The Bar are going to go ahead and win here because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, interference by him. He's got to show a little bit of relevance still with the character they're adding with him into that. So
somehow
interference.
Drake Maverick, somehow he keeps the Big Show at bay.
I don't know about that, but it's actually hard
Bubs.
It's hard for me to picture either Akam or Razor actually being pinned. I don't know who could pin Akam or Razor, so that's hard to believe. But we'll get to it. We'll see what happens. All right, Bubs, women's time. Let's talk elimination 5-on-5. Traditional.
Yes.
Team Raw, Mickey, Natalya, Nia Jax, Tamina, and Ruby Riott.
God, that's such a bad team.
That's
just a horrible team.
It is. SmackDown, Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, and it's still not announced the replacement for Charlotte.
It's such a good team. Even if it was 5-on-4, SmackDown is so much better than
Sonya
Raw.
Deville for the push. Gotta be.
SmackDown wins, in my opinion, for sure. That's a guarantee, a Kenny Oak guarantee, which doesn't mean a lot.
Write it down.
But the SmackDown women win. Because just having Tamina on the Raw team just instantly, boom, decredits the team. They're done for.
I don't think Nia's going to ever get pinned. And it's hard for me to... Actually, I think the SmackDown team's going to add... We could see like a Lita show up or a Trish to fill that spot maybe if they wanted to make that team even more relevant. But I'm going to take Team Raw because Nia's not going to be pinned by anybody. And her and Tamina are going to run some rough shots over some people.
Her and Big Show are just gonna. They should start a tag team and just call it the KO Punch. That'd be their tag team name.
That's too soon. Okay.
Is it? Because
moving on, Bubs. We got some differences there. Go Team Raw there. Give me Nia. A little more serious now.
On SmackDown.
Okay. 5-on-5 traditional here.
Yes.
Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley. And let's also mention Baron Corbin on the side, Lio Rush on the side. Versus Team SmackDown of, here we go, Miz, Orton, Mysterio, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy.
Bubs, Team Raw is stacked to the gills
Bubs.
with just
looking heavy.
They're so strong. Raw's winning. And
there's nothing but internal conflicts on this team amongst each other. There's Orton against Miz. There's Miz against Mysterio. There's Hardy and Jericho.
Orton against
Miz and
Mysterio.
And on Raw, you got Braun versus Dolph, Braun versus McIntyre, Finn versus
Braun
Dolph,
versus everybody.
Lashley versus whomever he chooses for his heel character right now. So
Elias comes out maybe.
Where's Elias? Hopefully he puts on a show, at least a performance.
He will.
Absolutely should. Bubs,
Raw
Team Raw
wins.
Right?
Team Raw wins.
Okay, let's mark that one down. Brock Lesnar, Universal Champion, versus Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion. Bubs, you're picking Daniel Bryan.
I am picking Daniel Bryan.
Going with him. I'm taking Brock. I don't see Daniel pulling that one off. We got to pick that one. It's an easy one for me to mark up.
Yeah.
Here's your potential match of the night if done properly. Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Bubs, U.S. Champion. Here we go.
Yeah, this is a hard one to pick.
Hard.
It's definitely a toss-up. And this is one, like, right now I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, I have to just ask you, who did I tell you I was going to win earlier? Did I say it was Rollins?
This one? I don't
Because this is one of those that, like, I don't know who's going to win.
You just pick randomly and hope it sticks?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You give your pick. I'm going to look to see who I pick. It's that just wide open.
I want to see who you actually picked here because that had me wondering earlier.
Yeah.
I'm picking Seth Rollins, whether it makes a difference to you or not.
Oh, here it is.
What'd you pick?
I picked Rollins. Yeah.
Okay, good. There it is. And you picked Rousey as well for the next one. So
because then I sent you a video of my baby crying to show you things aren't going. This might not happen tonight.
The house is in disarray. Rollins Bubs versus Nakamura. Apart. Should be good stuff. I'm excited to see it. I don't care if Nakamura wins. That'd be cool too. Kinshasa. I'm all about it.
And that's something that can easily happen. This is a toss-up.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be finally Shinsuke's, big match that he.
Can it be?
Eventually, it has to be, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because we've had that conversation before about people. I don't believe in that anymore. There's no such thing as everyone has to have their chance.
You're right. You're 100% right.
Give me Rusev. All right, moving on, Bubs. Ronda.
Whoa. Where's Rusev coming from? It's Rusev here, Bubs.
It's still
you
Rusev
called
here. There's still time,
here,
by the way.
And I told you that was a pipe dream. And all right, moving on.
Rousey wins. Rousey beats Charlotte here, right?
Yes,
she has to. Is the match clean? Is Becky involved? Is Becky coming out?
I think Becky comes out. I think Charlotte could win on any given night. We saw that at WrestleMania this year.
She relies on a tap out. Can you ever see Ronda tapping?
No.
Or at least until WrestleMania, maybe.
No.
No, exactly, right?
Yeah. Rousey wins for sure.
It's not going to work. I'll get Rousey here. Could be a really good match, though. Ronda's getting better and better as time progresses. Her promos go up and down quite a bit. Match work is getting better. So there's Survivor Series for you, Bubs.
Promos take time. Her in-ring work is getting really good. So
I'm going to watch it, whether or not people are excited for it or not. I'll be there watching, hoping to see some good stuff, because it's a big 4 pay-per-view, and I believe in that, so that is me, Bubs. Anything else you got?
As far as Survivor Series, not so much, but I want to get into some kind of closing statements for us. We're coming up against it, Bubs, and you have a couple topics or a big topic you wanted to get into, and I just want to give you the floor on this one.
It's just one topic at this point that's really bugging me, and it's not getting enough attention, and it really is Kenny Omega's run as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Bubs, when he won it, we had a long discussion. We said, this is important. This is changing. This is world-changing for New Japan. This helps their expansion to the Northern American world that they have a very small foothold in. Since then, very few things of relevance have happened. We're going to get the dual show in New York.
All in, Bubs.
Okay, that was my... Sure, okay. So All In happened. We're going to have the combined show in Madison Square Garden with New Japan and Ring of Honor. Cool. The Jericho Cruise happened. Cool. But what has Kenny Omega, the guy who's good enough to beat Kazuchika Okada and take his title from him.
Maybe the greatest champion in all of wrestling of the past decade.
What has Omega done as champion? And I really have to say this statement. Omega is a born chaser. He is not a born champion. He is an amazing chaser. Everything he did last year, the year before that, is gold. Now,
you're right.
As the champion, he's doing very little. I'm not going to say he's doing nothing because he's contributing, right? He has to, by the fact that he's not Japanese. So the exposure that he's done, the job that he's supposed to have done as that champion has not happened, and I cannot wait for Wrestle Kingdom 13 because Hiroshi Tanahashi, regardless of his age, needs to take that belt from him.
Because the story being told about the build for Tanahashi going up against Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13 is so well done. And I've had conversations with people about this, people within New Japan about this. And the thing is, Kenny Omega has done almost nothing with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's done absolutely nothing to further the title. I hearken this back to when 1996, when Shawn Michaels won the WWF title off of Bret Hart at WrestleMania. What did he do with the title after that? His idea was, I'm going to wrestle my buddies for the next couple years.
Come here, Diesel. Let's wrestle.
Yeah, Diesel. Triple H. All these guys. I'm going to wrestle these guys because they're my friends, and I want my friends to have a shot at the main event. And that's kind of what Kenny Omega's done. As soon as he won the title, who has he defended it against? He had the triple threat.
Okay, yeah, that was later. That wasn't immediately after, but we know that Ibushi's not going to win.
No.
Right? We know we don't want Cody Rhodes in that position yet, and he wasn't in a position to take that title anyway, so that wasn't going to happen. But that's a fun match. That's something for the fans. Here you go. Here, enjoy this match. It's going to be good.
It's something for the Western fans. Well, guess what? Me being a Western fan, I don't watch New Japan to watch all the Gaijins wrestle.
No.
I watch New Japan to watch the best in the world wrestle. I watch for the Naitos, for the Okadas. Who I've... Exactly. For Evil, for Tanahashi, guys that I've said, and Okada, for years we've said is the best wrestler in the entire world.
Hands down.
Almost bar none. Bar none. Just the best in the entire world. If there was a singular wrestling promotion in the entire world, he would be at the top. Period. There's very few guys that have ever lived that can, say that. You have your Hogans. He could have said that. Yep. Stone Cold, he could have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okada, you go to any wrestling fan in the entire world and say the name Okada, they know exactly who you're talking about. Kenny Omega and what he did, what Okada and Tanahashi did to save New Japan. New Japan was a sinking ship in the mid-2000s until Tanahashi became the ace. Because New Japan just shot itself in the foot. They wanted to kind of ride on the success of Pride fighting championships. They sent a lot of their wrestlers to go and fight in Pride only to get destroyed by real, true martial artists. So Antonio Inoki, took that risk and it failed miserably. But Tanahashi saved the promotion. Okada brought it to new heights. Omega's supposed to be the guy he's going to bring it into the United States and is going to make it an international product.
Right.
He gets the title. Everyone's clamoring for it. Oh, he should have won it at Wrestle Kingdom. He should have won it at this time. We want Omega. Omega's the champion. What's happened? Same exactly with the rant I said earlier. Nothing has happened. And guess what? It doesn't do anyone favors. It doesn't do the promotion any favors. It doesn't do us as fans any favors if we want to see new product. If we want to see a Western expansion of New Japan, having Kenny Omega as champion and doing what he has done does nothing for us. So all of you that have sat there begging for this to happen, look at what it's done. Just because we want someone to be champion doesn't mean they should be champion. You are right. Kenny Omega is the ultimate chaser. Him being champion has done nothing.
Bubs, before he won this last year, we were both, I think indifferent would be a right word. We said, okay, if Omega wins this, he has a big responsibility to have.
Right.
It could be great shit. It was game changing, is what I said. I said this is an important thing. This has to be done right. Since then, I can name off at least 5 in my head right now that have been more relevant New Japan performers than Kenny Omega. One of them is Chris Jericho, and he hasn't even fucking wrestled.
Yeah, he's wrestled like twice.
Naito is more important. Ishai's more important. Jay White is
Juice
more important.
Robinson is more
important than Kenny Omega. And I just named off like 3 people that are in the undercard matches underneath this main event, which will main event Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm tired of it. He's done nothing really but waste time, and he didn't give us really what we wanted. That makes us sound like petty fans, like, oh, he just didn't give me what I wanted. Well, his role was more important than just champion. His role was, you're fucking Canadian.
You're the ambassador. You're the ambassador for the Western expansion.
You have an obligation now to do something, start something, do something, and that wasn't to go to All In. That wasn't to run Twitter and have become friends with Cody Rhodes.
Go to E3 and fight on Street Fighter with your buddies and go fight Xavier Woods.
Yeah, none of that that's all good and fun, right? But it doesn't do anything for the product on a very serious level. All the fans and the marks for him are like, oh, I fucking love him, right? And I think he's a great performer.
He's going to stay in New Japan forever. No, I think this is the start of his WWE. He's about to go get a major payday in WWE. It's about to happen.
He will do great in WWE. He'll be fun to watch. He could be a champion over there because his responsibilities there are much different than they are here.
Yes.
For a product that's very, very dominant in the Eastern world and New Japan, they need to be in the Western world, and this was his job to do, and he hasn't done it. Not to say he can't do it, because we said when he won this title, we're like, yeah, this is the guy that can do it. He can fucking get it done. Well, he hasn't done it. So give me Hiroshi Tanahashi right now. I don't want to wait till January 4th, but I have to wait because eventually the road leads to Jay White, and it leads to Kazuchika Okada again, and that's what I want.
Do you think that the pressure was too much? Because there was a lot of weight put on Kenny Omega for this Western expansion. He was supposed to be the guy that brings New Japan to the Western world. He was supposed to be the guy that brought New Japan to America. And do you think that the pressure was too much?
He has every good reason to get it done properly. He has the Bullet Club. He has all that merchandise. He has all the
Golden
fans
Elite.
that know him. He has the Golden Elite, right? He has Ibushi. He has Twitter, which is huge. He has Cody Rhodes connections, which are huge now. He's
doing commercials for video games, and
he has every good reason. I'm not trying to make him sound like he was selfish and just did it for himself, but that's kind of the feeling that I've gotten from this, is that he got himself into a great position by putting on amazing matches.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, sure, I'll be the next champion. I'll take it off of Okada. And the expectation was, and probably directly told to him, you need to go and make this a bigger deal than Okada did, which are big shoes to fill. But Okada doesn't give you Western reach.
I would love to feel those shoes, those Bubs.
Yes,
those shoes
me too.
I bet would feel nice.
Feel them amazingly.
They would feel good.
Maybe the pressure was too big, but I think he has the ability to fill it. He just didn't do it right. The planning of that, the coordination, maybe the logistics of all of it didn't pan out. I'm tired of waiting.
Maybe he had too much control over it. Like maybe they gave him too much creative control, and I just feel that, like I said, I harken this back to 96 Shawn Michaels, 95 Diesel, where they're just going to wrestle their buddies at the top. That's one of the things that Bret Hart got mad about Shawn Michaels when he said, I'm going to take the title and I'm going to just work with my friends. Because that doesn't do anyone any favors except for your friends.
Yeah.
Bubs, this was...
Good talk. Like I'm glad I got that out.
We need to go ahead and bring this thing home.
We will discuss Wrestle Kingdom 13 a little more down the road, Bubs.
So much talk happened just now. in this build to in this we've done more build tonight to Survivor Series than WWE did since the last pay-per-view. It's a crown jewel, I guess, would be considered the last really shitty
whichever one we cared about.
Yeah. But it's upon us. It's this weekend. War Games is tomorrow. Survivor Series is Sunday. And our predictions are there. Our thoughts are out there in the open for all of you to hear. And we've said some things that, hey, you know, I kind of blacked out there and went with the heart and just rolled with it. If you're upset about it, come see me on Twitter. I'm at Kenny Oak Sports. You can come at me. I don't care. I will come right back at you. You want to send us some videos? You want to send your response at us? We're on Twitter at CAE Wrestling. Hell, you could send us an email at collarandelbowwrestling@gmail.com, you know, if you want. I said what I felt, what my opinion is. Whether you like it or not, I don't give a shit. But you can join in that conversation. Like I said, at CAE Wrestling on Twitter. Also, find us at collarandelbowwrestling.com. You could see, you'll know that you find us because you'll see that logo that's on this video right now if you're watching on YouTube. But you can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify. We're all over the goddamn place, Bubs. We're everywhere.
Too many places, maybe.
Yes.
A lot of platforms. Get out there.
Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're fan-driven. We are fans. We want to know what you want to hear because we want to know what you want to talk about because we want to talk about wrestling with everybody. Uneducated experts. I like that. Those guys are awesome.
Big plug.
Yes.
Big plug.
Tell us what you want to talk about because we want to talk with you on all those places I've already told you about. At Crispy Quick, at Kenny Oak Sports, at CAE Wrestling on Twitter. Find us. Talk to us. Guys, we can't wait to come back at you next week because we're going to come hard each and every week like we just did tonight. I'm so hard right now. I'm as hard
disgusting.
as I've ever been.
Oh, I'm out.
Thank you guys for joining us. We love you guys. We love wrestling. We want to grow this thing together. And together, all of us, we can make wrestling great again. See you guys next week.